Hello, beautiful, and welcome to the Prosperous Womb. And 3 or 4 things that women in sales, women coaches, and women in general just use to sabotage themselves, to limit themselves from God's best. When we step out in faith and say we're going to do the thing that God has called us to do, and then we say to ourselves, you know what? I'm a Christian, or I am spiritual, or I want to partner with God and do this thing. And then God says, let's partner together to co-create this thing. Let me work through you. And then you say, but God, no, because I am not enough. I am not worthy. But it's a lot more than that. What stops women from creating the money they want in their business, from creating the thing they say they want to do in their business for their clients, from getting the results that they want every month, every quarter, every year, in 5 years? What has us stay stuck on a plateau, whether it's an income plateau or joy plateau, whatever it is? Let's dive into these 3 things and see how we can move through them using the word of God and using God's promises in our lives to co-create the wealth that he says that he has given us the power to create in Deuteronomy 8:18, as he tells us how to use that wealth in 1 Timothy 6:17 through 19. Okay. So what is the thing that I've noticed with myself and with my clients when it comes to moving through the speed bumps in life and selling and working with the clients we want to work with and actually asking for the sale and making the actual amount of money that we want to make without any doubt, without any judgment, without any condemnation, without worrying about what anybody thinks or says? The first one is our past experiences. Our past experiences from when we're kids until now, even experiences from yesterday, dictate how we make decisions in our business. They dictate how much we want to sell our coaching offers for. They dictate how we see ourselves and how we see our high-end coaching clients and what we think they can afford. It dictates how much power we believe we have and the value that we bring to the table. And when you're not aware that you're making decisions through the lens of the 18-year-old girl who got dumped, or through the lens of the 7-year-old girl whose daddy said will amount to nothing, or through the lens of the woman who went through the divorce whose husband said she was a piece of, poop. When you're making decisions subconsciously through that lens, you don't understand how it's affecting your pricing. You don't understand how it affects your identity, and you think, I need to be high vibe to sell. No matter how high vibe you are, if your identity is, I am shit, your client sees, I am shite. So it doesn't matter how you feel. It matters who you're being, and that's based on past experiences and what you've allowed them to mean about you today. So what have you allowed those experiences to mean about you today? With my clients, I call this dirty underwear. Somebody else's dirty drawers is what you're wearing. Every time you make a decision through the lens of, I am not enough, through the lens of, but what if they don't buy? Through the lens of, but is this valuable? Through the lens of, does this color look good on me? Like whatever it is that you're using to beat yourself with a stick, it's based on a past experience. You don't limit yourself. You need to, and when we're going through that process of making decisions based on our past, we don't see the walls that we've set up, that we've created. And God's like, I have this thing to do through you, and I need you to be an open vessel so I can work through you. And you say, no, I only have capacity for 10K because God, I hear you, but my guru coach over there said, and he has groomed me to sell 10K offers to 1,000 women. And you're telling me to sell this $1 million offer to one person that you have identified wants this offer? No, God, you're wrong. You don't understand. I can't do that. I can only do what my guru says and what all the women in my mastermind say I'm worthy of being. So you need to see your past experiences, how they collide with your present circumstances, and how they interrupt and disrupt your future. So past experiences. So sit back and look and see, what lens am I looking at through when I price my coaching offer? What lens am I looking through when I decide the kind of client I want to work with? Where am I limiting myself because I think that thing took a part of me away? Everything that has been taken away from you, or you've allowed someone to take away from you or have given away, God has given you more of it, because the gifts that God has given you, no one can take outside of you. No one can diminish the gifts God put in your prosperous womb. They can be blurry, they can be dull, but no past experience can diminish who God says you are. So past experiences, let's look forward. They happened, they're real, but they're not who God says you are. They're part of your story, And your story matters. But God is more important than your story. The second thing is that we're afraid of judgment, of random people's judgment online, of Katie from Alabama typing in her pajamas in her parents' basement while she eats bonbons and saying nasty things about you, and you're like, I can't go do this thing that God has put in my heart to do. I can't go sell this thing because Katie from Alabama is going to crush me, she's going to cancel me, and then everybody online is, you can't cancel God. You can't cancel God. And whatever God is trying to do in the world through you will happen, whether it's at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end. No matter what people do to you, no matter who comes against you, they shall not prosper, because what God needs to happen will always happen, because God is God. It doesn't matter what they say about you, what they do about you, what they push on you. It does not matter, because God has already set you free to do the work that you're here to do. And when God sets you free, you're free indeed. So you say the thing that needs to be said. You sell the offer that needs to be sold, because it's tied to the specific real life issue, problem, desire, opportunity, or challenge that your client has. It's tied to that. It's connected. You're connected, already connected to the client you're here to work with. And that client has been on her knees praying to be the woman who attracts the husband that she wants, and you have the outcome and result for that. She's been praying for that healthy baby, and you have the outcome and result to balance her hormones so she loses the unhealthy weight and has the baby the doctors have told her she cannot have. You have the outcome and result of the woman who's been praying for $1 million months for whatever reason. You have that outcome or result for her. You need to show up and do that no matter what anyone says. And you need to go where God is calling you to go, not where you think your feet can take you, but where God is calling you to go. So forget judgment or condemnation. When I show up on YouTube, I don't produce my videos. I don't even edit my videos. I show up and I just say what God is channeling through me. The people that are here to hear that, hear that. The people that want to hire me from that. Whether it's for a $100,000 coaching offer or for a workshop, it does not matter, because I am not talking to everyone. I'm talking to that one person that God has put on my heart. That one person. Changing the world, impacting the world, one high-end coaching client at a time, one offer at a time. I'm not talking to 1 million people. There's 7 billion people in the world. The odds are always in my favor because I work with only 5 people. The odds are always in your favor. So the work that God has set you free to do, be free indeed and do it, regardless of what anybody else thinks about them. That's their small mind. It has nothing to do with you. The third thing, and this is what really impacts high-ticket sales and supports women to remove themselves from high-ticket sales and go get groomed by the big gurus to sell 10K coaching offers to 1 million people and call that big impact. It's what I call personal lies and sins. We all tell lies, okay? We all do things that we don't need to do. The sin part, Jesus already died for that, so let's let that go, okay? Whatever sin you committed, whatever sin you're about to commit or you're going to do in the future, Jesus already died for that, so get over yourself, okay? You're worthy simply because Jesus died for you. You're enough simply because Jesus died for you. Nothing to do with you. You're righteous simply because Jesus says you're righteous. Nothing to do with you or your goodwill, whatever, good works, whatever that is. So let's talk about the lies, because that's what matters here. Nobody knows all the lies you've told to yourself and other people more than you do. You're the only one that knows. And so every time you tell a lie to yourself, whether it's I'm going to drink more water, I'm going to walk 10,000 steps, I'm going to stop having sex outside of marriage, I'm going to be nicer and kinder to my spouse, I'm going to blah, 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 and then you don't do it, you lose integrity with yourself, because you're the only one that knows the lie you've told to yourself. And you also know the total of all the lies you've told to other people in your life. Nobody else knows that. And that really kills your integrity. And so next time you say you're going to do something, your little monkey brain says to you, well, you didn't even do that the last time. You didn't even pay that bill the last time. You didn't even do this the last time. You didn't even lose the 5,000. You didn't even stop eating the chocolate the last time. And then you lose integrity. And when you get into a high-ticket sales conversation or you get into your messaging, that lack of integrity is so inside of you that you cannot do or say the thing you want to say, because your mind tells you it's a lie, you cannot say it. It's a lie you cannot ask for the sale. It's a lie you're not worthy enough. It's a lie you don't do this so you can't do this. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. You're the only one who knows how many times you've been out of integrity with yourself. So it's time to forgive yourself. It's time to forgive yourself, because God in you, the hope of his glory, already forgave you for the thing. Forgive yourself. See yourself the way that God sees you. And the thing about the lies and the integrity, and why it should not be sabotaging you, is because no one cares about the lies that you've told yourself and others as much as you do. Nobody's thinking about it as much as you do. Maybe your mom is, but that's not your problem. That's her problem, not yours. So God does not remember them. He said, as far as the east is from the west, it's gone. It's gone. So what are you waiting for? It's time to forgive yourself for whatever sin you think you've committed that Jesus already died for the lie you told yourself that you can move forward from today and become better at doing the thing that you want to do, whether it's losing the weight, being nicer, being kinder, being more generous, being more compassionate, whatever it is. It's time to move forward for that, because see yourself through God's eyes and remember who you are. And then go make the offer that you need to make, not the one that's going to take her 1/10 of the way, but the one that's going to give her everything that God has for her without going through a million funnels, because that is a lack of integrity on your part, again. Okay? So that's a 3. There's a 4th one. The bonus one is what I call pride. Okay? There's a reason why in the prosperous womb, my offer is called God Made Women Millionaires. There's a reason why I go on and on about partnering with God, with Jesus Christ, and with the Holy Spirit. Because when you do things on your own, or you think you're doing it through your willpower, you can only go as far as you can see. And you see, even with the ocean, it goes farther than I can see. I can't see the depth of the ocean. I can't see how vast it goes or where it ends. I can only see what I can see. And in your life and in your coaching business, you can only go as far as your bank account. You can only go as far as your willpower. You can only go as far as your mindset and what you believe. But when you partner with God, it's not you doing the thing. It's God working through you, not some dude in heaven. God in you, the hope of his glory for the world, working through you right now to co-create the thing. So when you decide you're going to do it on your own, you can't do what God can do through you. You can't see what God sees. You can't make what God makes. God does it through you. So stop discounting God and making yourself God. You're not self-made. You're God-made. And when you determine that you're God-made and you think, I can't do it, you remember who's doing it through you. When people say to me, Mimi, I can't make that kind of offer. I can't sell that. I'm like, who is doing it through you? Who are you partnered with? And they say, Jesus Christ. I'm like, can Jesus do that? Is anything too hard for God? Is anything too hard for God? Are all things possible with Jesus if you believe? Nothing's possible for you. I can't do anything. I cannot do anything. I remember when I graduated from law school and I was so excited. I was giving the graduation speech and I gave my speech and I ran down to my family and my friends and I said, oh my God, I can't believe that I can't believe that, oh my gosh, what? I'm top of the class and I gave the graduation speech. Like, it blows my mind. My mom said, you forgot to thank God. And I looked to her and thought, girl, are you crazy? God was in there. Where was God when I was studying for all these exams? Where was God when I was taking all this? Like, Mom, I did this. And then almost 20 years later, I realized what she was trying to say. Because, you know, in law school, I thought God was a guy in the sky that I was going to come. You know, I do that bad thing, that I'll come pray to the guy in the sky to forgive me for it, and I'll go do whatever. But I never imagined God was partnering with me to study for my exams and to do the thing that when I walked into law school, the first thing I said was, I saw the list of all the names of people who gave the graduation speech, and I said, I'm going to be on that stage on graduation day. But I never thought about it after that. It never crossed my mind, because the circumstances of law school did not make me think that I'll be the one on stage. And then the day that I got the letter that I was going to be on stage giving that speech, it still didn't click that this is the thing that I'd partnered with God for. God factored nowhere in that. Now, looking back, I see how God made every moment happen, even when it wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to be the one giving that speech. But God orchestrated everything to work the way it was supposed to work. 20 years later, you know, I graduated in 2001. So that's 23 years later. I see clearly now how God was the one doing the work through me. And it's interesting because when I work with my clients, I clearly see where they're thinking, Mimi, God's not the one that has to get on that phone. No, God's not doing it, and I'm not doing it for you. I'm not going on the phone for you. You are going to do it, but God through you is going to give you the power to do the thing. And that's what counts. So don't discount God. Don't discount God. Sell that big offer. Do the big thing. Say the big thing. Make the big plans. And you will see how God brings it to pass. No matter how many people come against you, no matter what happens, especially no matter what the world says about you. The only thing that matters is what God says about you, because God's anointment trumps the world's appointment. So partner with God. Don't discount God. You're not doing it on your own. It's never been about you. It's about the people that you're here to serve, and God's the one working through you. You're an empty vessel. You are a broken vessel. And we're broken so that God's light can shine through us into the world. God's light does not shine through a vessel that doesn't have holes. So he's never going to use perfect people to do the good work in the world. You're extraordinary because of the holes. You're extraordinary because of those lies. You're extraordinary because of those sins that God has already forgiven. You're extraordinary because of who God says you are. And you're righteous and all of the things simply because Jesus died for you. So go on and do the things, and don't let these 4 saboteurs sabotage you. There are 100 things that sabotage us. Identify them, know at least 1 or 2 or 3 of them. Now you know 4 of them. Move on and sell those $100,000 coaching offers. It's been good having you.